Every man at some point in his life will face trials that seem designed to break him. The loss of something cherished, a dream delayed, a setback so heavy it nearly crushes the spirit. And in those moments, a question rises from within. How do I go on? It is in that hour, when everything appears to be falling apart, that the real secret of success is revealed. Not in your skills, not in your resources, not in your background or your education, but in one invisible, invincible force, your mental attitude. Positive mental attitude, PMA, is not a phrase for the weak-minded or overly optimistic. It is the foundation upon which all lasting achievement is built. I am not speaking of naive cheerfulness, nor do I refer to blind hope. I'm speaking of an attitude that refuses to be defeated, a mental posture that sees through adversity to opportunity, and a state of mind that says, no matter what comes, I will rise. Let us be honest. Life is not easy. Success does not show up simply because you want it. But that is exactly why PMA is essential. It transforms the painful into the purposeful. It takes what was meant to destroy you and converts it into the very reason you became great. It doesn't remove the hardship, it redefines it. And by doing so, it gives you power where others see only pain. Now, hear me clearly. Every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. That statement is not poetic, it is practical. It is the compass that points the way forward when the path has been lost. The man who can see that seed, even when surrounded by darkness, is the man who succeeds when others quit. But how do you develop this positive mental attitude? How do you hold your head up when your world is crumbling? First, you must accept this eternal truth. Your attitude is a choice. No one can give it to you. No one can take it from you. Circumstances can influence it, yes, but ultimately your attitude is yours to command. And if you are not commanding it, you are surrendering it. You must begin each day with a decision to see the good even in what seems bad, a decision to speak powerfully even when you feel powerless, a decision to focus on what is in your control and to let go of what is not. That is the power of a positive mental attitude. PMA does not mean ignoring reality. It means seeing reality and choosing your response with strength and wisdom. It means saying, this situation may be hard, but I am harder. This problem is real, but so is my purpose. I will not be broken. I will be built. When a man adopts this way of thinking, he becomes unstoppable. Life may bend him, but it will never break him, because he understands that the harder the battle, the greater the growth. He knows that trials are not punishments. They are preparation. They are the fire in which the tools of greatness are forged. But PMA is not built in a day. It is built through daily decisions. When life is easy, train your mind, so that when life gets hard, your mind is ready. Just as the athlete strengthens his body through resistance, you must strengthen your mind through resistance thinking. You must learn to see obstacles not as enemies, but as exercises. And this is not theory. This is the very principle that lifted me from poverty to purpose. I had nothing when I began. I had every reason to doubt, every excuse to complain. But I discovered a secret, the power of my thoughts. I began to train them. I began to shape them. And in time, those thoughts shaped my reality. Every success I ever studied, every wealthy man, every leader, every inventor, every creator, without exception, held this trait in common. They believed even when belief made no sense. They persisted even when progress was invisible. And they guarded their minds as the sacred soil in which their destiny would grow. Now I ask you, are you doing the same? Are you watching your words? Are you directing your focus? Are you choosing gratitude over grievance? Faith over fear? Growth over comfort? Because if you are not, you are surrendering your greatest weapon. You must become relentless in your mental discipline. Just as you would not allow a thief into your home, do not allow negative, destructive thoughts into your mind. They will rob you of energy. They will steal your clarity. And worst of all, they will convince you to settle for a life far beneath your potential. positive mental attitude is your guard, your shield, your sword. It allows you to walk through fire and not be consumed. It allows you to be betrayed and not become bitter. It allows you to lose and still believe that you will win. And let me be clear, belief is the fuel of action. A man who does not believe will not act. He will hesitate. He will delay. He will doubt. But belief born of a positive mental attitude makes a man bold. It makes him resilient. It makes him dangerous to anything that stands in the way of his dream. Do you understand what I am saying? PMA is not a luxury. It is not optional. It is essential. Without it, talent goes unused. Vision fades. Plans die. But with it, even the smallest of men become giants. Even the most broken of stories become sources of strength. And here's another truth you must accept. Hardship is not proof that you are failing. It is often the evidence that you are being shaped for something greater. Do not misinterpret the trial. Do not curse the process. Understand its purpose. You are being stretched because your destiny requires expansion. You are being challenged because comfort never created a champion. You are being humbled so that pride will not ruin the blessing when it arrives. A positive mental attitude allows you to frame every difficulty with wisdom. It turns questions like, why me, into, what is this teaching me? It transforms, I can't handle this, into, this is preparing me. It changes, I've failed, into, I've learned. That shift is everything. That is the alchemy of the mind. And make no mistake, this power belongs to you. You do not need permission to use it. You do not need the right circumstances to begin. You need only a decision, a final firm decision to become the master of your attitude. No longer will you blame others for your state of mind. No longer will you let conditions dictate your condition. From this moment forward, you will lead with strength, you will speak with belief, and you will think with purpose. You will hold your vision higher than your excuses. You will hold your standards stronger than your struggles. You will carry yourself like a man who knows that what is inside of him is greater than what is in front of him. Because it is. You are not just flesh and blood. You are purpose wrapped in perseverance. You are resilience wrapped in resolve. And your positive mental attitude is the switch that activates all of it. So what now? Will you go back to doubting? Will you return to complaining? Will you continue to let emotions dictate effort? Or will you rise? Will you decide finally that you will never again be a victim of your mood, your environment, or your pain? Let this be the day you draw a line in the sand. Let this be the hour your mind becomes your fortress. Let this be the moment you say, enough, enough defeat, enough delay, enough doubt. From this moment forward, I am a man of focus, of faith, of fire. I will fall, but I will rise faster. I will face pain, but I will turn it into power. I will be tested, but I will pass. Not because life is easy, but because my attitude is strong. That is the man you must become. And that is the life that is waiting for you on the other side of a decision to live with a positive mental attitude no matter what comes. Now that you understand the indestructible power of positive mental attitude, let us go deeper into how it operates in the most vital areas of your life. Because theory means nothing if it does not translate into real, lasting transformation. The mind, when rightly directed, does not simply survive difficulty, it harvests greatness from it. And the man who trains himself to do this consistently becomes the master of any circumstance. I want you to examine the thoughts that dominate your mind when things go wrong. Do you go inward and blame yourself in defeat, or do you reflect and learn with strength? Do you shrink into fear, or do you expand into faith? These questions matter because your habitual responses are creating the results you are currently living. And if you do not like the life you are living, then you must upgrade the attitude you're thinking from. You cannot build a life of excellence from a mental attitude of anxiety. You cannot build momentum while constantly doubting yourself. That is why it is not enough to try to be positive. You must train yourself to be positive, daily, deliberately, relentlessly. Positive mental attitude begins with one foundational belief, that your mind is more powerful than your conditions. Your thoughts shape your perspective, and your perspective shapes your outcomes. Two men can face the same hardship. One is broken, the other becomes bold. One gives up, the other grows up. What makes the difference? Not the event, but the attitude brought to the event. You may say, but Napoleon, I'm dealing with real loss, real stress, real betrayal. I do not deny your pain, but I challenge you to choose power over pity. If you believe the external determines your internal, then you've already given up your most sacred power. But if you claim the truth, that the inner attitude can transform the outer experience, then no challenge can overcome you, only reveal you. This is not about ignoring difficulty. It is about turning difficulty into fuel, the coal that heats the furnace of your will. When you change your attitude toward adversity, you change your ability to extract value from it. The most successful people are not the ones who avoided hardship. They are the ones who alchemized it, who took ashes and made fire, who turned pressure into diamonds. That is your task. That is the reason life is testing you, not to destroy you, but to awaken you, to make you stronger, to forge a character so solid that no storm can shake it. But do not think this happens automatically. The mind must be trained, and like any training, repetition is key. You must speak the language of power until it becomes your native tongue. You must think thoughts of greatness until your mind begins to believe them without effort. This is the real work, and few are willing to do it. They'd rather complain. They'd rather explain. They'd rather wait until the world is kinder. But not you. You've seen the truth. And now you know that the world changes when you change. That opportunity expands when you expand. That favor flows when your attitude opens the gates. If you want the world to respond differently to you, then you must respond differently to the world. Life is not waiting to change. It's waiting on you to command it with the right state of mind. And let me say something here that may surprise you. Positive mental attitude is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet. It is calm. It is the quiet conviction that says, I will not give up. It's not always enthusiasm, it is endurance. It is the voice inside that speaks peace while others panic, that continues while others quit, that finds light while others sink into darkness. This is a misunderstood truth. Many think that positivity is all cheerfulness and smiles, but true PMA is forged in fire. It is born when things are ugly, when hope is hard, when doubt is loud, and still you choose to believe. That is real strength. And that is the strength that builds an unshakable life. You may wonder, how do I shift into that strength when I feel weak? You start where you are with what you have. You don't wait to feel better, you act better. Because action leads emotion. And emotion is shaped by repetition. When you act as though you believe, the belief begins to grow. When you speak power, even when you feel powerless, your subconscious begins to accept it. And when the subconscious is aligned with power, your behavior changes. Your decisions change. Your destiny changes. So take small steps each day to cultivate this mental habit. Speak gratitude, even when you are hurting, especially when you are hurting. Gratitude is the antidote to fear. It rewires the brain to find opportunity where it once saw opposition. Speak affirmation, not empty flattery, but truth rooted in your potential. Say, I am capable. I am focused. I am strong. I am growing. Speak it not because you always feel it, but because you are training yourself to feel it. Move your body. You cannot hold a weak posture and feel strong, stand tall, breathe deep, walk with purpose. These are not small things. They are signals to your brain that you are not defeated, that you are in control. And surround yourself with the right people. A positive mental attitude cannot survive in a negative environment. Choose friends who speak life, who challenge your smallness, who reflect back to you your best self. And remove the negative voices, be they online, on your phone, or in your own family. You don't have to hate them, but you must guard your mental space like your future depends on it, because it does. Your mind is a garden, and every seed you allow in through conversation, media, self-talk either grows weeds or grows fruit. Be ruthless with what you allow to grow, because the harvest is your life. And let us not forget, PMA is not only about overcoming personal hardship, it is also about becoming a force that uplifts others. When you become a man of positive mental attitude, you become magnetic. People want to be around you, not because you are always happy, but because you are always stable. You carry peace. You bring clarity. You anchor the room when others are drifting. And that makes you a leader, whether you hold a title or not. Because true leadership is about influence. And nothing influences more than a steady, focused, optimistic man in a world of confusion. You become an example, a symbol, proof that success is not about being lucky, it's about being prepared in the mind. And when people ask, how are you so calm? How are you so focused? How did you make it through that? You will know the answer. Because I trained my mind when it was hard. Because I chose my attitude when nothing made sense. Because I believed when others doubted. Because I showed up when no one clapped. Because I decided that life would not defeat me, I would master it. And that is what you are doing now. You are building a mind that no trial can break, a will that no man can discourage, a mission that no pain can derail. You are becoming the kind of man who does not need perfect conditions to succeed, because you've made yourself the perfect condition. So do not grow weary. Do not give up when things still look the same. You are changing, and your results are catching up. Life always responds to attitude. Keep speaking power. Keep acting in faith. Keep thinking as though the victory is already yours. Because in truth, it is. You just have to keep showing up with a mind that expects success, a heart that endures discomfort, a spirit that refuses to quit. That is how you win, especially when life gets hard. You don't fight with anger. You fight with vision. You don't push with frustration. You move with focus. You don't react with fear. You respond with faith. That is how you rise. That is how you lead. That is how you succeed through the hardest storms, the darkest nights, and the longest waits. And that, my friend, is the power of positive mental attitude. You've now traveled far enough to see that the man who walks with a positive mental attitude is not walking in illusion, he is walking in truth. Because PMA does not deny hardship, it defines it. It does not reject pain, it refines it. And it is through this refinement that greatness emerges. In the final stretch of your journey, understand this above all. The greatest power you will ever possess is your ability to respond, your responsibility to what life presents. There are two kinds of men in this world, those who react emotionally to problems and those who respond intentionally with purpose. The first man is ruled by external events. The second man governs himself, and in doing so governs outcomes. Which will you be? You cannot afford to leave this answer to chance. Because life is not waiting for you to figure it out. It is testing you now. Every challenge is a question. Every trial is an invitation. Every setback is asking, who are you becoming? And the only way to pass the test is with a mind anchored in belief, discipline, and resilience. That is positive mental attitude in action, not philosophy, but practice. Not hope, but habit. Not soft comfort, but forged steel. When the bills pile up, you do not panic, you plan. When the opportunity falls through, you do not despair, you look for the lesson. When people betray you, you do not retaliate. You rise, refine, and reframe your direction. That's mastery, that's manhood, that's the invisible shield that turns struggle into structure. But understand this. A positive mental attitude is not maintained by chance. It is fueled by ritual. The man who wakes without a plan, who consumes without filtering, who listens without discernment will inevitably drift into negativity. But the man who rises with intention, who feeds his spirit, who directs his mind, will grow stronger with every storm. Here's what I want you to do daily. Start the day with gratitude. Before the demands of the world invade your mind, list 5 things you are thankful for. This small act recalibrates your focus. It shifts your energy from lack to abundance. It reminds you that you are not empty, you are equipped. Declare your identity. Speak aloud who you are becoming. Say it like it's already true. Because your words don't just describe your life, they define it. I am calm under pressure. I am focused under fire. I am growing through every test. Say it, feel it, believe it. Choose your direction. Don't let the day decide for you. Decide what matters. Decide what you'll tolerate. Decide what kind of man you'll be, and then act accordingly, regardless of emotion. Protect your environment. Remove noise. Limit gossip. Eliminate pessimistic conversations. Your attitude cannot thrive in polluted air. Make your mind a sacred temple. Guard it like it holds the keys to your future, because it does. Review and reflect. At the end of the day, ask, did I respond like the man I want to be? If the answer is yes, celebrate it. If the answer is no, adjust. No shame. No regret. Only refinement. Because you must understand, PMA is not about perfection. It is about persistence. It is not about having all the answers. It is about asking the right questions. It is not about being untouched by pain. It is about being unbroken by it. You will fall. You will feel weak. You will have moments where doubt knocks at your door. But that is not failure. That is training. That is pressure shaping power. That is your opportunity to choose again, to choose focus, faith, and forward motion. Because success is not built in a moment, it is built in repeated moments of decision, thousands of tiny choices that compound into character. The choice to speak life when you feel drained. The choice to act boldly when you feel fear. The choice to keep going when quitting seems reasonable. Every time you choose the attitude of a winner, you lay another brick on the foundation of your legacy. You must now start thinking generationally, not just how do I feel today, but what kind of man am I becoming for my family, my future, my name? Do you want your children to remember you as the man who complained or the man who overcame? As the one who cursed the dark or the one who built the light? Your positive mental attitude is not just for you. It is your inheritance to the world. The ripple of your decision today will echo through lives you've yet to meet. That is the weight and the wonder of your mental discipline. And don't think for a moment that PMA makes you soft. No, it makes you solid. Because a weak man lashes out. A weak man breaks under pressure, but a strong man responds. He chooses peace when provoked. He chooses purpose over ego. He walks through fire and carries others with him. This is what the world needs now. Not more noise, not more opinion. More men who are grounded, who are stable, who are clear, who do not crumble when life tests them, but who double down on faith, purpose, and direction. Let me tell you something profound. The most dangerous man alive is the man who has mastered his attitude. Because you cannot manipulate him, you cannot disarm him, you cannot intimidate him. He may fall, but he will never stay down. He may weep, but he will never whine. He may bleed, but he will never beg, because he knows who he is. He knows why he's here. He knows that life doesn't give him what he wants, it gives him what he's willing to become. So I ask you now, what are you willing to become? Are you willing to become the man who wakes up and chooses growth even when he feels stuck? Are you willing to become the man who speaks life even when surrounded by death? Are you willing to become the man who builds faith brick by brick when fear screams from every direction? That is what this world is asking of you. Not perfection, not control, but courage. The courage to maintain your positive mental attitude when nothing around you justifies it, except the vision that burns inside you. Because at the end of your life, you will not be judged by what you felt. You will be judged by what you chose. Did you choose to rise? Did you choose to build? Did you choose to speak power? Did you choose to act, to believe, to endure? Did you become the man your hardship was sent to shape? If you can say yes, if you can look back and say, I led myself through fire with a heart full of faith, then you have lived well. You have won the greatest battle of all, the one inside. So take this truth with you and tattoo it on your soul. A positive mental attitude will not always make life easy, but it will always make life possible. It will not guarantee comfort, but it will guarantee character. It will not hand you success, but it will make you deserving of it. Because success, real success, is not what you get, it's what you become. And now you have the blueprint. You know the path. You have the power. So walk boldly, speak wisely, act decisively, and carry within you the one thing that no man, no trial, no pain can take away: your positive mental attitude.